Hey, good morning, everybody. Just wanted to say hello. It is New Build Monday, and what is happening with our neighbor's house? I'll tell you this, it's still loud in the mornings. We get woken up at this morning, I think it was like 6:30 in the morning. They already started banging away. I don't know which trade it was now, but recently it's been a lot of electrical trades in there. And if you've been watching, I think it's been maybe over a week, probably 2 weeks of them doing the interior mechanical. They haven't put the Tyvek wrap on the outside of the house yet. So they're not sealing up the envelope and they're just making a lot of noise. So that's all fun. That's an update for you on that side of things. Today I'm going to talk to you about, last week we talked about framing, what's happening behind the walls. Today I'm going to talk to you about things to look for in your plans before that actually even happens. And then we'll talk about new build inventory in Edmonton and also the areas in Edmonton to build in. So if you're thinking about building and you're thinking, well, what am I looking for in my plans? I'm getting a lot of people asking me on YouTube, asking me what should I look for. So one of the things I want to tell you first and up front is, as a realtor representing you, that is something I will walk you through step by step. If you've already gotten to the stage where you're watching this video and you've already put an offer in and you're looking at your preliminary plans, please use these videos as reference for yourself. I'm not able to kind of obviously come in at this stage unless you're wanting to pay out of pocket for me, but typically the builders pay for me way before so that we are able to have this arrangement and it doesn't cost you anything. So I'm going to give you some things to look for in your plan, the things that we kind of look at. So outside of you looking at the upgrades that you've done and wanted to add in, things that you want to consider are the locations of your electrical. Big thing is dining room location of your lights. A lot of times people just, like, the standard is to put that light fixture in the middle of the room. So if that room is kind of open concept, they'll usually grab a wall to kind of create a square or rectangle, and then they'll just exit and then put it in the middle. So you need to check your table measurements, make sure you do the size to scale to see how it'll fit in that room. Most builders, sales reps are able to do that for you. The ones that we work with definitely know how to do that. And it's important because unless you're planning to buy a new table, but even if you are buying a new table, you want to get the measurements to make sure that light fixture is where it needs to be. Instead of, in the older homes, you'll see that light fixture is like off to the side and people have taken a string or whatever to like move it into the middle, because you don't want to open up the walls or the ceilings to redo the electrical. So take a look at the dining room placement. Take a look at your lighting in the kitchen. Is there enough lighting in there? Now, if you were working with me before the offer, we're going to look at that stuff beforehand, because if we need to add in more light fixtures, lights, we want to do that before you write an offer so we can negotiate on everything, not just pay after the fact. Of course, after you remove conditions, you can still add as much as you would like to do, as long as you can still approve your mortgage. But that's something I would like to do typically beforehand. But don't forget to search and look and make sure you have enough lighting. See if you have pendant lighting over the island, or if you have how many pot lights in the kitchen. Now, pot lights are using the LED disc lights now instead of the pot lights, which are a lot more energy efficient and are going to help you save money on your bills. So take a look at the lights. If you're doing central vac, take a look at the location of those. I know that was something that was important to us because I wish I had more of those sweep kick vacs or whatever in the areas that don't have carpet. So we put one in our bathroom, put one in our kitchen. Now, also take a look at the placement of your sinks, counter space, and electrical outlet. I know it seems a little strange to think about that, but just think about the logistics of your everyday living. Think about where your light switches are. Are the light switches in places where it would logically make sense? Really give some time to think about that. That's why they give you your plans to look at and to mull over to make sure there's nothing more you want to think about. Now, other things that you may have thought about when you were writing the offer and what you want in the home, just make sure all that stuff is there. Make sure the rooms have been extended or the closets have been made bigger or smaller, or whatever it is that you guys were looking at doing. Make sure that you've got everything where it needs to be. We always take a look at that. Take a look at the windows. If you want to add more windows, again, I highly recommend doing this before you write an offer. So with our clients, we look at this plan stage before you even get the preliminary plans. I guess you would call that like the black line stage, where we look at everything and make sure everything possible is in there. And sometimes we still miss things. So then you catch them afterwards, and now you want to see if those are really important for you to do. So make sure you take a look at the preliminary plans in that regard. Now, hopefully that gave you some tips. And again, if you want more details, then you want to make sure that you have that figured out with myself. Just make sure you get me involved before you write an offer, before you even get to that stage, and I will be there with you every single step of the way. Now, just a quick update for you for the new build inventory in Edmonton. So a lot of times at this time of year, we are looking at the discounting stage because we're trying to get those last sales in for the year. However, there is a very, very, very low amount of inventory that is available for quick possession, which quick possession is anything less than 60 days in the new build world, because of what happened with the pandemic this year. They didn't foresee so many people buying that, so they didn't build as many homes prior to what was happening. So we're going to start to see a little bit more action happening, I think, in the new year of builds happening. I know they're working on stuff right now, but it's definitely not ready to take and move in the next 30 days. There are limited inventory. If you're interested in that list, send me a message and I will send those to you. And in terms of the areas in Edmonton to build, we are doing some research right now because they're constantly adding new areas. Of course, they've slowed down a little bit in terms of where they've put in new areas because it keeps growing, and we're limited in like where you can possibly grow. If you want to build in the west end of Edmonton, you are limited to Rosenthal and Secord for true west. If you're looking for west, they're also calling Edgemont and Uplands as west. It is technically west, but it's kind of moving more southwestish. But it's more west than, let's say, Keswick, or there's all these weird names that are now coming up, like Saxony Glen in Windermere. Lots of different strange names. We are working on a list of all the areas in Edmonton to build, and we will post a blog post of it, and I will do a video as well. Probably a few different videos just because I'd like to talk about each area. If there's any areas in particular that you want to know, whether it be west, southwest, north, east side, there's not a whole lot of anything for new. It's basically north, west, and south. You've got some St. Albert and you've got Sherwood Park, but Sherwood Park is also really limited and they're moving into Ardrossan. So if you have any questions, let me know. Thanks so much for watching today, and we will talk to you guys next week. Bye. Stay warm out there. Stay safe.